I'm James.
And I'm Dan.
We're the Ragamuffins.
And we went to Misery Loves Company Festival.
Alex is missing. He decided to go to the snooker. So we decided to draft in Tyler and Lewis here. They came with us. We had a wonderful time in Bristol together, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
It was cute.
It was cute.
It was really
cute. Is that the word we're going to use to describe it?
Cute, romantic, dream come true. That's many words. I'll describe it.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for that. The debut year of Misery Loves Company in Bristol. A little bit of a setup similar to Burn It Down, where you've got a few different venues in a city all together, which all fantastically located. I think you could kind of jump from one to the other easily. Set lists seemed to kind of be seamless, so you could kind of watch a whole of one band and go to another straight away. Organisation, I think, seemed fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have any negatives to say about it. As soon as we arrived, we were kind of... It felt like we were welcomed with open arms into sort of the hub they had going on at the station. A few vendors and stuff selling some merch and things there. And then they had a stage in there as well, around the back, where we saw our first band of the day.
It was, and we saw the Menstrual Cramps, a fantastic name for a band. Welcomed in there straight away. And already a nice, I think, quite good-sized crowd early on.
That's something I noticed straight away was not only how big the crowd was in there for them, but every venue we went to, even early on in the day, there was just a full crowd, basically.
Well, it also never felt like we were ever sort of like cramped in at any point, or that we even had to queue to get in to do anything. Like if you wanted to go to one point, like you could go to it and not have to worry, or you weren't like thinking, oh, I better get there a little bit early in case it's going to get too busy. Like even like the bands later on when we thought that's going to definitely be way too busy in there, it wasn't actually that bad, and you could leave or go at any time you wanted.
Yeah,
which was a nice surprise actually. I think.
I mean, after seeing them, I think we're kind of just checking the lay of the land a little bit, and then went to see Blacklist in Rough Trade, which
awesome little venue.
Yeah, I liked it a lot. They had a very like Royal Blood-esque style, and all about it was wicked. And when we first walked through there, I wasn't too sure where the venue would actually be. So
No, me neither. I thought it's quiet in here, isn't it? Because I didn't know that Rough Trade had like a back room for live music. So I was a bit like, well, the stage is meant to be in here, but where is it? And then we clocked there was like a security guy in the corner by the coffee machine.
I think we went to the Lanes after that, didn't we?
Lanes after that.
Lanes was crazy. Like, I've just never been in a venue before where there's a stage where a metal artist or rock artist can play, and then to your left it's just a bowling alley. I can't wrap my head around it. It was so weird but so cool.
There was young families playing at the same time.
Yeah. Well, that's what I found odd was like there'd be a band like Graphic Nature or Harriet, some like extreme hardcore metal band playing, and then there's just a family of four being like
escorted
through the crowd.
That happened
to go bowling.
That happened during, I think it was Envision. I was in the front taking some photos, and then everyone like parted ways, and a family of five walked through, and this 70-year-old lady, and I just hear the old lady just go, "Oh, it's one of those rock festivals." It just seemed so out of place. And I was like, "Oh god, it's so embarrassing."
I mean, presumably, if they'd had a booking, they would have been told, "Oh, by the way, there's a festival going on at the same time."
Or maybe close it off to the general public during the festival. Maybe have it like as tickets for people that have tickets. Yeah. That would have made a bit more sense.
I think it would have been cool if it was like a backstage area. The bands can just be out there. Like
you had sort of mum, dad, two like 8-year-old kids getting dragged through a Graphic Nature pit, and then 5 minutes later going, you know what, this is too much for us, and then getting dragged back through anyway.
But also maybe they now love Graphic Nature.
You never know. It could be one of the best marketing ploys ever.
You never know. It's fantastic.
Go for the bowling, stay for the music. The Lanes.
I went bowling and all I got
can use
was a good music taste.
So at this point, I think we were like bouncing around a little bit, kind of getting a lay of the land, and then made our way to SWX with the first band there, Raptors, who
I mean them.
They've been at a few different festivals this summer that when we just couldn't have the chance to see them, just maybe clashing with another band. So straight away, I think looking at this lineup, I was like, I want to check them out, and just not disappointed. I think
not at all.
Musically, they were great. Again, like we said, even early on, the first band on the stage, they had a really great turnout for their performance, and it was awesome. Probably one of the most memorable parts of the day as well. When
we lost a friend that day.
Yeah. We had there was an inflatable raptor being thrown around, doing loads of crowd surfing, moshing, stage diving.
It was so comical.
And then he died.
And then there's no other way of putting it.
deflated.
Mass extinction.
Yeah.
He had a good send off though.
I mean,
I remember he was deflated, and then all of a sudden I
leg.
saw like a blown up leg
Leg.
just fly back into the crowd at one
My
point.
leg.
But
Mom, my leg.
You'll probably see this in the vlog, but the best bit was when they did the coffin towards the stage, and then the singer stage dived away at the same position, so it looked like he'd sort of turned in-
Resurrected.
Yeah, like come back as the
Like
singer for
Jesus.
Raptors. It was a
Reincarnated,
seriously
that's
good
the word.
moment.
Jurassic Park's got nothing on that.
But I feel in particular that was like one of the standout sets straight away. That was like set me up for the rest of the day with the other bands that we had in there. They commanded that main stage amazingly well. I mean, we'd been there a few weeks before and seeing Story So Far in a packed out room, and I still felt there was so much high energy in there at that early in the day at 2:30 for Raptors, which was fantastic.
Then we stayed in SW Works to watch Love Is Noise under the recommendation of Alex, who couldn't make it. He couldn't be with us.
But Love Is Noise, I hadn't heard of them before.
Love
I was-
And yes.
The recommendation I've been given was they're kind of loathy.
And
And
whoever
they-
told
yeah.
you that was not wrong,
Yeah.
and they were very good.
They were great. Yeah, I really liked them a lot.
not-
I've
not quite-
been listening to them every day since we came
Not
back.
quite as heavy as Loathe. They did have a few sort of breakdowny bits, but it's mainly kind of the ambient kind of vibe that Loathe go for is kind of
Yeah,
prominent
I think
in
there was
this.
twice during their set when I sort of turned around to you and gave you the
yeah.
this is good. I like
The
this.
look.
Get a little nod of appreciation.
100%.
Finished up with Love Is Noise, and then I think we went over to watch Raiders.
We went back to the lanes to see Raiders.
We did.
I think we only saw maybe the second half of the set, but as we walked in, the crowd was already packed out most of the way back to the stairs, and Sean Smith was like climbing on some tables and stuff over to
Yeah.
the right, which is just standard Sean Smith behaviour, really.
Just out and about wherever you can.
But yeah, the few songs we saw of them, they were great. They're another band that have been at loads of festivals that we just haven't managed to catch for one reason or another.
I think
But definitely worth seeing. Awesome.
I think we then kind of knew we were going to stay there for Graphic Nature afterwards, but with a bit of time to kill, it's quite nice being able to dip outside there because they had a little acoustic kind of area.
Well, we watched that first song and we were like, oh yeah, this is good. Clapped, and the woman went, yeah, this is only the sound check.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like,
Oh,
okay.
okay.
They're like, oh, that's a lovely response for a sound check.
She did have an amazing voice.
Yeah, really good.
She was the first on the
Yeah,
acoustic set.
Hamasha, yeah.
I think from going like being able to go and see like those heavy bands inside the lanes to then kind of have a zen moment to go and listen to acoustic music outside, like gave it a really nice dynamic. And having
It
that
actually
back
got
and
quite
forth.
busy in there, like later on in the evening as well.
Oh, you can see, yeah, it was
packed
filling
out.
up really, really well. But
I
then,
don't think it was people out there just to smoke either. I think it was people that were actually trying to watch the music, which
Yeah,
is nice.
you kind of want to support all of that.
Yeah.
But then it was starting to kick into gear, and it was Graphic Nature time in there. We knew
Things got
Yes, it
serious when Graphic Nature took to this stage.
it was going to fill up, and it got fucking
Oh
packed.
my god! Well,
Um,
after the last time we saw them at Trees, where they packed out the whole tent and had probably the biggest circle pit we'd seen at Trees. He's quite,
yeah,
quite
I'd
easily.
say so, yeah.
Yeah, and they put on a face melting set then to then seeing them in maybe 100 max capacity in that place.
I'd say maybe 200.
Maybe
Yeah.
200, like if you include like upstairs and stuff, but like just in that that tiny venue, and you're like, how is this gonna go? Like this bar's gonna get ripped
Well, it's
off.
essentially a pub. It's essentially a pub floor.
Yeah,
in the lanes,
I thought
and,
these
yeah.
people are all gonna die, but it was unbelievably good.
Yeah,
The venue is great. Like from a photographer's point of view, I love those like small quarter venues where there's no barrier. The stage is like barely 20 centimeters off the floor. It's just
It just looked chaotic, doesn't it?
fish lens on the camera, flash. Oh, and they were so good as well. Their live performance was great. A lot of energy.
It's the first time you've seen them.
No.
Oh, you weren't at Trees, were you?
No, I've seen them play before. Can't remember where, but I also knew them back when they originally were Cove.
Oh, I listened to Graphic Nature before they were Graphic Nature.
I actually got the DMs to prove it. No, back when they were Cove, I think it's just the drummer who's now the original member. They played with my my friend's band back in like 2018 in the cellar in Oxford, and I really liked them then. And then the old singer left, and then Harvey joined, and then they
My
became,
best friend.
They became Graphic Nature. But I've sort of been aware of them for quite a while. But I think that's the second time I've seen them play, and just it was great. Loved it. A lot of hair flying around everywhere. It's great. I love
How
it.
on earth they keep
Hair's
them jackets
sweat
on? I have
and
no idea.
windbreakers. Yeah.
There was a bit when I was taking some photos quite low down with the fish out, and he flips his head forward, and I just felt like water hit my face. I was like, nice. Salty.
Needed a drink, thanks.
I think they're definitely an example of a band that have had a fucking incredible 2023.
Oh, hell
Since putting out the album in February.
Since they did the podcast with
This is
us.
a podcast with us, hey.
There is no correlation, of course.
No, not at all.
No, it's all their work.
But I think they've had a fantastic year.
That was so smart.
Hang on, you need to start giving us some.
Well, I'm
royalties.
joking. Of course, they're fucking incredible.
But they've had such a fantastic year, and I think they're just growing from strength to strength, and they're just getting recognised more for the hard work they've been putting in. And like you say, from being in a previous band before, kind of like developing as you go on, and to kind of keep putting the effort out there, getting that recognition which they deserve. I'm really intrigued to see where they go into in 2024.
Also, I think Harvey's probably one of the nicest people just to like sort of stand and chat with.
It's that classic meme, isn't it, of like a hardcore metal vocalist on stage versus off stage.
Well, he sort of stood there chatting. How is everyone? Yeah, all good. And he gets on. He's like, right, this is Killing Floor. It's like, oh god, okay, here we go.
Also, during their set, the singer Dreamstate came on, and I was not expecting
that was a fantastic feature.
He jumped into the crowd.
Have you seen that video from the other angle where there's the people in like
the Chinese,
in the pizza kitchen?
Yeah, they were. I thought it was the Chinese next door, but I got some great footage on the little camcorder that we took. I think it was during Lake Malice.
Yeah,
where I was sort of videoing her, and then looked over, and you see them the lady in the window like.
Just in shock of what's
just
going on next door.
Couldn't believe what she was seeing.
Yeah, to summarise on Graphic Nature though, like Tyler and I may have only seen them like once or twice, but we've seen them, or at least I've seen them maybe like 4 times, just
3 times
this year. Mm-hmm. And they just seem to keep getting better and better. I think they're growing in confidence. Harvey's made the point of himself of every time they play a show, it seems like there's a bigger and bigger response from the crowd, and the crowd just keeps getting bigger and bigger. And they're
even seeing some T-shirts in the crowd now.
They're destined for big things, I think.
Oh, definitely.
Sure.
And it's going to culminate in their biggest ever headline show at the Underworld at the end of the year. From one band that we've seen loads of times this year at festivals to another band we've seen loads of times this year at festivals, Witch Fever. Once again, they're just another band that seems to keep growing in confidence. Crowd seems to get bigger and more sort of involved and a bit more energetic every time I've seen them. So again, they're another band that keeps like working hard and gathering momentum and just doing great stuff. It's
great stage presence as well. Like when vocalists went into the crowd, opened it up. Just seeing the participation amongst everyone else. There was a lot of energy in that room, and I think that was something quite special.
So I think it's the 3rd time I've seen them, but I think for each time the crowd seems to understand what they're trying to do a bit more. Like the first time I was at Download, I'm pretty sure.
I think the first time
was
was
first time for you.
First time for me was a Download.
We
wasn't it?
on the cancer bats, but
first time for me was a Download, and everyone was enjoying it, but sort of like okay. And then at Trees, they seemed a little bit out of place, but people still was like, yeah, this is cool. But then when we saw them at Misery Loves Company, everyone was sort of seemed to be a lot more people there that were there to see them and sort of understand what they're really trying to do, because they have got a serious message, haven't they?
Yeah, it's a style of music as well that can be kind of a bit grating and a bit difficult to get into. Like
sort of that punky, moany
like
sort of stuff.
kind of like post-punk, almost a bit of spoken word kind of vibe in there. Which again, like when I first started listening to Idols, when I was listening to them on record, I was a bit like, okay, like I'm not really getting this. But then when I saw them live and kind of understood the message they were trying to get across and the performative kind of nature of it, I was a bit like, I'm in, I get this. And I think it's the same with Witch Fever. I think it maybe takes people a couple 100%. Of goes to kind of get it.
Yeah, there's
really
been a few times when I've been at work and I've sort of they've been on a playlist, and the guy I work with has sort of gone, what's this? And I've been like, sort of tried to explain, and then like 2 or 3 times in the week when it's happened, he's gone, oh yeah, I remember this one, and like it's like, oh okay, so it's not really ever band or songs where you can go straight away, you should listen to this. You'll really like this. I think people sort of have to read into it a little bit more, and then it just clicks.
Yeah. So I think after that we split off a little bit. I think you went off to South Arcade.
Yeah, I think again the great thing about this kind of festival is multi-venue inner city venue festivals becoming popular again, is that like you can just go off and just be at a venue immediately. If you got a little gap in your schedule, I'll go and see what's going on over there. I mean, I know you can do it at kind of traditional outdoor festivals as well, but you've still got usually like a 5-minute walk to a stage. Whereas here it's literally across the road, or sometimes in the upstairs room of the venue you're already in. So yeah, I headed across the roads to Rough Trade to go and see South Arcade. Fairly local band to us. They're another one that we managed to just keep missing. And I was kind of pleasantly surprised. I mean that in the best way. Like I'd never thought they were like a bad band. I've always kind of liked their music. but live they just seem to add this extra kind of level. They sound that little bit heavier. The vocals sound that little bit kind of more of something to them. I don't know the exact kind of way to word it, but yeah, they had a packed out crowd as well. People singing the lyrics, which is awesome for a small band like them.
What sort of music is it?
It's kind of sort of Tonight Alive. I don't like to say it with it being like a female fronted pop punk band,
Right.
but they're kind of Paramore, Tonight Alive kind of vibes.
Oh, okay, cool. Nice.
But they have a few kind of little, not quite breakdowns, but some sort of crunchy riffs sort of towards the end of some of the songs as well. So yeah, they're a really cool band, and they seem to be appearing on loads of bills at the moment. So they're ones to look out for sure. Where were you guys? Where the hell were you guys?
I'm trying to remember.
I
We
was waiting
were
for
Lake
Exodus.
Malice, weren't we?
I was waiting for exits.
Oh, yeah.
I had a little break. My legs were hurting a little bit, you know. It's
You-
hard.
You,
it's
you
hard
weren't waiting
working
for
hard.
excerpts, were you? You were waiting for.
I was waiting
a
for
certain someone.
potential Sam Carr to come out during his featured song. Didn't come out, unfortunately. There definitely were a few bits where I could listen to this, and their stage presence was great. I loved it. There was a lot of moving around by the singer.
The bassist is quite scary, I thought.
Yeah,
You need a lot of this.
a lot of staring, a lot of
And I was like,
head
"Ooh."
He's
movement.
just grooving, man.
But
Let the guy groove.
the singer was great though. He was moving around so much, and it made such cool pictures as well of him jumping around and moving around and dancing. It was very unique.
I really love the Excerpts. I think they're a really awesome band. I think they were kind of let down. It sounds harsh to say they were let down by the crowd. I think maybe it was that kind of time just after 6:30ish,
people there.
where everyone's thinking about getting some food.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
So the crowd did start to fill up, but at the start I was like, there was pretty much no one in there. I was straight up to
Yeah.
the barrier. The crowd sort of walked out to maybe like 20 people,
I always hate
which
seeing
felt
that.
a little awkward. But it did fill up at the end. The crowd sort of reappeared. Everyone that was there was into it. They were all singing along, including myself. I had a really good time. But
You look like
Again-
you were enjoying it.
yeah, I was enjoying it. It's probably
Barrier, mate.
I was on Barrier.
Yeah, I
I'm
can see
on
you there.
Barrier very often.
To roll back a little bit, I think while you were at South Arcade and then going into the Excerpts, we were at Lake Malice
Yeah.
in the lanes. So yeah, like after hearing some stuff about them, I kind of wanted to check them out a little bit.
Yeah.
I thought they absolutely fantastic. They packed out the room as well. Again, like I said, it was nice seeing all these different venues with a big crowd in there, and just some wonderful mix of genres, mostly metalcore stuff,
Yeah.
which is my absolute jam.
And she has an unbelievable voice, doesn't she?
Yeah, absolutely
And
amazing.
stage presence. She was like controlling that crowd.
Oh,
really well.
absolutely fantastic! It was just kind of in awe watching it as well, and it was really quite cool being able to kind of go around different areas of the stage as well quite easily. Like you had your pits and stuff, and like we made use of this for like Envisions later on. But
Oh,
to kind of go
100%.
and watch different people, different members at different times, especially like having a good view of the drum set and things like this.
Well, it was that front left portion where
Yeah.
we sort of claimed it a little bit. Like whenever we wanted to be at the front, we would just go in there because there was a little bit of space.
Yeah.
You could see all the bands and you could see the crowd, and it was really good for photos. And it felt like you were sort of in an area you sort of shouldn't be, maybe.
Exactly, yeah.
But if-
Kind of
if-
like, I'm side stage, I'm side
Yeah, it
stage.
felt like you were side stage, even though you
Yeah.
were just anyone could stand there, and it was a really really nice little area to be in.
I think, yeah, for watching Lake Malice during that kind of was like, okay, I need to check these guys out a lot more. I really,
100%,
really
yeah.
enjoyed that. And another fantastic set. It just felt like as progressing throughout the day, and we're not even done yet, you're just seeing great band, then great band, then great band, then great band, and it just keeps getting better and building up throughout the night. So I think we all kind of reconvened after the Excerpts
Well,
almost,
yeah.
didn't
So we left Lake Malice and sort of I think we went for a coffee.
Who
Yeah.
went to see Cody Frost? I saw some Cody
This
Frost
was
footage.
me and James.
We went very briefly.
after, yeah. So we
Yeah,
went,
how was it?
we went to get a coffee and then went to the station to sort of see what was going on. It was Cody Frost on.
I think we stayed for like one or two songs.
One
I think
or
we're getting
two.
hungry at this point as well. And it was
Yeah.
like food, coffee,
Falafel wrap.
falafel wrap.
Gosh.
Yeah, it wasn't, it's not really for me, that sort of
Yeah.
stuff. But it was, it sounded good. But the station stage was a bit weird. I don't know if anyone else
It was
felt
a
this.
weird
It's so-
eclectic
it's so-
mix of sounds
Yeah,
and stuff you're getting from there.
it sort of felt like an addition. Not like it felt like the station was more like the area you go get tickets and buy merch and stuff. And oh, by the way, we got stage. But it was nice to just pop in every now and then and see something different. Like we saw a girl there,
Yeah.
and I found out that I know some of their
You know
songs. I didn't even know I knew their songs, but I started singing along and shocked these guys.
Yeah, that really. If I don't talk about it now, we'll never talk about it. That dispensary system with the
Ah.
Oh, of course.
Oh.
Yeah.
Serve your
Yes.
own cider.
We're gonna advertise this guy's business for him, but that was the most genius thing I've ever seen.
He
at a
looked
gig
so
or a
proud as
festival.
well, didn't he?
It was this. They're like these four, almost
Booth? Kind of like you
booth
go up
dispenser.
It's almost like
Yeah.
an ATM machine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
And
you
the-
stick
And then
your.
Get
you
alcohol.
put your cup in.
You know
choose
what
what
it's
you
like.
want,
You know
comes
when
out
you
like
get
so.
free refills at like Nando's and Toby
100%.
Carvery?
It was like that.
You
So-
just stick your pint glass underneath. You tap to pay, tap the button to start pouring, and it's just
And it
a
pours you a
little hatch
perfect
closes, which is cute.
Yeah.
And then it just pours it.
Little nozzle
Magic.
goes down and fills it up. And I don't
It
know about
does
you,
seem
but
to be about a centimetre lower than the rim of the pint cup.
Mine was
maybe,
bang on.
Oh no, mine was slightly lower.
Mine was perfect.
That's
I
my only criticism.
I think it's because I got a beer and not cider though,
Mm.
so I might like the head was
That's
perfect
it.
on mine, whereas the cider a lot of time it's flat, isn't it?
There's this one time when you're getting your cider, and I was watching you pouring out. I looked to the left. I just saw the bartender sort of like look over at you, like
This is the
The
thing,
robots
yeah.
have overtaken.
The bartenders are quaking in their
Yeah.
boots right
Oh,
now
no, the AI.
because that machine was kind of cool. I imagine after a couple of times maybe the novelty will wear off. Like
Yeah.
But imagine if
we
you could
didn't-
just
we
have
didn't
them
really drink that much.
dotted around a
No.
festival.
yeah,
Like you could have 200 of them in download, and that would cut the queues down so much. Because I don't know about you, even if it was
Maybe.
like £7, I'd be like, well, if I can just pop to one of them and get a pint or anything, you can put anything in them, couldn't you?
Oh, robots
In,
stick
instead
our
of having
jobs.
to go to the one of the 3 massive bars and queue and go through the walking like an ant up and down.
I wanna rip that little screen out and put my head underneath.
Yeah, that's the only issue.
The little thing
have
comes
to have
down.
security. But it was what I didn't realise was the guy giving the cups was the guy who run the business, because I said,
Yeah, 'cause you said,
I
"Oh,
said,
you've got a good job."
you've got the best job of the festival. He went, oh, this is my business. I thought it was the bar that was running it. So instantly he went from the guy who's just handing out the cups to the guy
owner.
that's just made
So
all
you-
these guys
yeah.
unemployed.
A fucking genius.
Yeah, and everybody was going to him instead of going to the bar that they could have gone to just behind him.
They look so pissed off, man. I reckon at the end of the night they just like kick them over.
What's
like,
funny
beat
as
them
well
up
is
in the alley.
there was a
Just
there was a
unplug 'em.
queue for the self-service bit.
Yeah,
and
but there's no one there.
There was no one going to the actual bar.
To be fair, it was,
You-
it was probably cheaper to go to the bar as well.
Yeah.
yeah.
I think from there then, after a little bit of deliberation, what we did the rest of the night, we went and just stayed in the lanes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we had the double bill of Envisions and then Harriet.
It was a good one.
Yes,
Um,
we got a little booth, which was lovely.
We did, it was a lovely little area.
It was a wicked
Um,
booth.
I think I'm the only one that's seen Envisions before. I've seen the Sport Oceans 8 Alaska at my favourite venue, which is Underworld in London. And they were incredible, so I knew straight away, like, I wanted to go and see this. But, like, for you guys, first time seeing them, what do you think?
They were great. I mean, like, just solid. They sounded so tight. I guess we can call it sound production there as well. Was just awesome.
I think
Breakdowns galore. Loads of like genty riffs, which I'm all in for. Vocalist was excellent as well. Great crowd.
It was some Will Ramos-esque vocals.
Yeah,
some point,
at
wasn't
times. Yeah, it was awesome. Big up Lee from Fest Pod as well. Who was there. I saw him going a bit
He
mad
was
in the
belting it
pit.
out.
Good on you, Lee.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed it. I mean, it's definitely down my sort of lane of music I tend to listen to. Some of the songs they did weren't really for me, but they gave me sort of like an early 2000s metalcore sort of vibe, the way they were dressed and looked and that. I thought was quite cool. And that during their set is when that family walked through and he was just like screeching down the mic, and this old lady just looked horrified.
She's doing a pig squeal, and she's like, "What's going on here?"
She looked horrified. Like, she just walked past me. I was taking photos at the front. She just walked past me. All I hear is, "Oh gosh!" It was so comedic. It was so funny.
Good golly.
Oh
Yeah.
golly gosh!
I think them, Envisions and Love Is Noise, were like 2 bands I'd never seen or really heard of before that I've now got in most of my playlists, and I've been listening to them non-stop. I think
That's
it's
the
their-
beauty of festivals.
Yeah, and always go into these things with completely open mind, being like, I'm going to find someone new, and to find 2 bands that I can easily say are like sort of up there for me at the moment was really nice.
And then it got to a band that we all know quite well now.
Yes, we do.
They just rule, don't they?
I
To
love
close
it.
What
off
a
the
great
night,
band.
Harriet.
Yeah, they had a few issues.
Medieval.
Oh yeah,
Oh god, yeah. The
they were playing some like medieval covered songs before a set, and
no, that's what I call tavern music.
Which
Oh,
which
God.
which
All
at the
about
start was hilarious and everyone enjoyed it, but the third time round, I think
No, I was still enjoying
I
it.
was
I
loving
think that
it.
there
I
were
was
definitely
Still
loving it.
vibing.
there were
The
definitely
first-
some groans
The
in the
first
crowd.
time round, there's like 30 seconds of trying to guess what song it is, and
Yeah.
then it's like, yeah, it's that.
That's 50
and then
Cent.
when it plays again, it's like, yeah, I'm vibing to this.
I felt awesome. I just wanted to drink some mead. Me being a Viking and all that. Like, I love.
Oh no, this
Fuck
again.
off.
I'm 3% now, so.
He does oneancestry.com or 2020
I love
you
this
and me,
gone
whatever
up.
it's called.
Anyway,
Back to
Harriet, eh?
Back to Harriet.
I mean, it was worrying for a little bit because there was about
Yeah.
20 minutes, I think, where there were sound issues. XLR cables had to be changed.
You could see that
and-
they were panicking
Yeah.
a little bit.
I'll tell you what, they didn't look too panicked. I
But
think
there
their
was a
sound
few times where
engineers
Debs
did.
was
The
sort of
sound
like-
Sound
engineers
engineer
did.
looked panicked.
Oh, he looked like his head was going to blow up.
Yeah.
Because you
tell they
could
were
see
getting
he was like, we haven't had this all
Front-
day.
the front of
It's
house
been
were
fine all day.
terrified.
Why now?
Yeah.
Jake said something like, we're going to have to cut our 35-minute set down to 34 minutes now.
Yeah.
Considering it was meant to be on there for an hour, I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure that's.
But like,
Well, I saw their set list. I don't think they cut anything.
No.
So-
like Johnny just ripped through
They just did
one
it
after
twice as
another.
quick.
But I think, yeah, just another phenomenal set from them. Seeing them in so many different places this past year. Again, just going from strength to strength.
They looked
We-
so much more comfortable at this one. Like I think they looked like they felt like they were meant to be there. Whereas at Trees, he even said, didn't he? He was like, most of
Yeah,
you aren't here
it's
to
a bit
listen to this
mad.
sort of
Yeah.
music. It's a bit mad that we're here, but hope you enjoy it. Whereas this one, they were like, yeah, this is
their crowd.
Weirdly, I think it's the smallest stage I've seen them on. Even
Yeah.
though we've kind of watched them this past year and even longer kind of go through that trajectory of playing all these different festivals,
Yeah,
being
I
put
think
on
it
all these
is
big
actually,
stages.
yeah.
download for me the first time
That
I've
was
seen
our
them.
Yeah,
first
Download
band
was
we
the
saw.
first,
First
for
band
me,
we all
and
watched
then,
together as
I've
well.
seen them at Trees. I'm sure I've seen them at loads of other places as
Burn
well.
It Down they were at as
They
well.
toured
Burn
of
It Down.
Architects.
Yeah, I think that's just a smaller
That's
stage they were on.
nuts, isn't it? I always forget about
They
that.
toured of
Well, small,
Architects,
yeah, small
it's
stage.
huge.
I've seen
You
them on
wouldn't
anyway.
think that
but
they'd be connected at all, would you? Harry and Architects.
Yeah, they did.
Like you
tour
wouldn't
them.
you wouldn't put them two
Was it
together on a.
Europe?
Well, I guess it's a testament of how, like, I think we talked about when we spoke to them at Burn It Down, but it's like having all these people in the scene looking out for them, like Lamb of God having them on,
Amazing.
Architects having them out in Europe, festivals like 2000 Trees having them on the main stage. They headlined a stage at this festival.
I think they've
like,
proved that their genre
Pe-
of music can be in the forefront and not just in
Yeah, for
in
sure.
a dingy little bar that only people that like that sort of music will listen to. Because I think most people in there probably don't listen to that sort of music all the time, but they all go, yeah, this is good.
It's hard to get into. Like, Harriet are really not my usual cup of tea of music, but I've weirdly grown to really like their music. I'm not sure why. Maybe it's like
there is something about them.
I'm not sure
for
what
sure.
it is, but it's just something about it where I put it on. I'm like, yes, fucking let's do this,
Gets you
man.
pumped.
It always makes
so
me think of
good.
like if I was walking in like a forest at 2 o'clock in the morning and like something started chasing me. I think I'd hear their
Yeah.
music come on and then I'd hear Deb scream and I'd just be like, oh my god, I'm gonna die. But like something about that makes me adrenaline pump a
Immediately
little
the
bit. And
scene
you're
of
like,
a horror
oh,
film.
oh, I'm feeling this now.
It reminds me a lot of like I used to play a lot of Doom back in the day. I think that's why I like them so much. It's just I
I
can
can see that.
imagine just putting them on and just playing Doom for hours, and it just like,
shooting
match-
at some zombies.
COD
Yeah.
zombies, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's probably what it is as well. Yeah,
Ima-
COD zombies
imagine
and
imagine
Doom,
3 o'clock in the morning, you're on round 29 on Kino solo,
Yeah.
and then you hear, fetch me their souls.
screeching.
I think something about this set in particular as well. Like, my plan for this festival was to just see as many bands as possible, basically.
I think we accomplished that.
Which we did fairly well, but my plan was to see the start of Harriet and then go off to SWX to see the end of Twin Atlantic, because they're a band. They're a band I think are great, and I've not seen for quite a while now. But
However,
this Harriet set just kept me there. I couldn't leave.
Pit
I
opened up in your stuff.
I didn't even think about Twin Atlantic. I just stayed for the whole duration and loved it.
And they once they finished, I was at the front of it when they first started. Took a few photos and sort of made my way to the back because I just wanted to sit back and enjoy it. And the last 2 songs of their set, the merch line for them was huge. Just waiting for them to come back to buy merch off them. The line was huge, so obviously people loved
I think I did one pit of the day as well, and that was I gave Dan the little camera and said bye Dan, and jumped in at the last song and went mental.
Well, I didn't even have a choice. That first song.
Yeah.
I thought. I mean,
You became the bit.
we've been to gigs like this a lot, and I thought, oh, I'm probably safe here. I can film from here.
You were wrong.
I kept it rolling though. I think I did all right.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
mate.
It's funny. He's like, I've seen the footage already, and
It's
it's
so
all
funny.
nice and still, and all of a sudden it's just,
Whoa!
oh god, and it's like you just got like sucked in.
It's good though. I think we need to get GoPros or something and film more
Yeah.
stuff
Oh,
like
that could be
that.
fun.
Strap up and go in.
Maybe that's an idea for next summer's
We should do like a
festivals.
Francis Bourgeois one.
Fish eyes.
Get the
Oh,
fish
yeah,
eyes.
yeah.
That would be
I like from the
crazy.
top.
Yeah.
I think for a debut year, they absolutely killed it.
If no one had told me that this was the first time they'd ever put it on, that you wouldn't have been able to convince me that it was. Like, it was so well organised. Like, I could not believe that they'd never done something like this before.
There's only room for improvement as well. I mean, I've been to a few festivals this year and I didn't see a single error. I mean, apart from a few technical issues here and there, but that happens all the time.
I'm not being funny. It happens at Download. It happens at all these festivals we go to.
It happens so much at Download.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. They've got infinite money basically and resources, and it happens there. So for them to put on, there only really be one issue that we saw.
And it was also quite nice to see quite a lot of the sound techs who did other festivals I've been to this year, like Burn It Down. I noticed one of the sound techs was also doing this festival.
Same.
It's just quite. I like it when you see a lot of like photographers, sound techs, light techs, all just doing the same sort of festivals as each other.
Bloggers,
it's
podcasters.
It's like one sort of like as cringy as it is to say. It's like one big family in a sense. You just move from city to city, different genres.
It's one of them. Is it like I think we probably notice it more because we now do it so much.
Yeah.
Like if even like 2-3 years ago, I would been to hardly any gigs. I'd go to gigs, but not like as consistently as we do now. But so you notice that stuff now. Like I think it's the sort of the allure around everything isn't there as much because we're so sort of desensitized to a lot of it that you sort of pick up on other stuff, which I think is good because we sort of pick up on it but don't see it as a negative. Like
I think I recognise quite a lot of people in the crowd as well as people that I'm pretty sure were at Burn It Down.
Yeah, I definitely noticed a few people.
A couple of weeks previous. Maybe it's not even that much of a criticism really because it doesn't really affect anything. But my only kind of thought for next year is at times it didn't feel much like a festival. I think because there wasn't much branding and stuff around.
Yeah, that was all in the station, wasn't it?
Yeah, I don't know if that's the reason. The station was like the only place where there was like a bit of a festival hub kind of thing.
Might have been the budget.
The merch.
Yeah,
was,
I mean there's
first time small budget.
First time see how it
happens.
goes and then go bigger the second year.
And
which they've confirmed there will be a second year.
Just to say as well, their jumpers and t-shirts and stuff looked really good.
Merch was cool.
Yeah.
That merch was
very
awesome.
good.
It wasn't that expensive either.
It's like 20 quid for a t-shirt, 40 quid for a jumper. Perfect pricing.
They could have easily charged 50-60 quid for that, and they didn't.
And as you mentioned, tickets are out already next year. They've got not just early bird, they're doing super early bird. So it's like cheap as fuck right now. So get a ticket.
What does a super early bird
That
catch?
does feel like a bit of a false economy.
If the early bird catches the worm, what's the super early bird?
The early bird
game?
makes the worm.
The early worm
Makes the worm.
is
He
catching the
gets
early
the early worm.
It gets the early worm.
Yes, the early one.
That worm thought he was clever getting out extra early. Little did he know.
There's an early
Have
one.
you heard of the Kodiak bird?
Shut down.
I reckon close it all off. Favourite set?
Graphic Nature, it's got to be.
Ty?
Yeah, Graphic Nature. Yeah, Graphic Nature.
I think it was actually Harriet for me.
Harriet is definitely second though.
Envisions, I think. Like there was a lot of great sets there, but the Envisions one I thought was really, really cool. But it's close.
We didn't speak about their awesome drummer.
Oh, that was very cool. Like just being able to watch side stage, I like you kind of said that side area, and then at points just kind of just watching what he does there. Kind of saw both of us watching a little bit.
He picked up on the fact that we were watching him.
Yeah.
Because like you can tell when there's musicians. So we both play drums, and he could tell straight away because we were sort of watching what he was doing. So right at the end, he did a really cool fill, and then hit this little bell that he had hidden that he hadn't touched throughout the whole set. Just went ding, looked up at me and James and smiled.
We were just both like,
we were like, oh, he knows. And
we know.
he knew that we knew he knew.
Yeah, I think a fantastic festival. This felt
Loved
like
it.
the full kind of like wrapping up now festival season, which is quite sad. It did leave me a little bit of like thought afterwards, being like, oh, he's actually officially done now.
The day went so quick as well. It was like,
Unbelievably.
that's it.
And it was nice to not be insanely tired. Because we weren't having to walk 2 miles between each bloody thing.
Or
That does
sweating
help.
because it's 40-degree heat.
It was
Exactly.
cooler out, nice and cool outside the venues. It was not warm, but not overly hot inside. So,
Yeah, it was great. Loved it.
So if you haven't seen it yet, go and check out our vlog from when we were there. You see the great time that we had, all the amazing bands that we've mentioned. Like we said, this is the end of festival season, so we've had Takedown, Slam Dunk, Download, 2000 Trees, Burn It Down, and now this. All those vlogs are there to watch. We've got gigs we've been to recently. We saw Sleeps at Ali Pali. That was fucking
Great gig.
sick.
Unbelievable.
Whoa.
And other ones coming up throughout the rest of the year. So like, Comment down below if you're at Misery Loves Company, who was your favourite set, and fucking subscribe. Press that button.
And don't forget,
It's going to be like here.
tickets are
somewhere.
already
Fire
on
effect.
sale for next year. Maybe we'll see you there.
Fire effect.